Hello everybody and welcome back to another redstone showcase video. And in the last one I showed off this and I thought it was pretty compact. And yeah, I went and did it, didn't I? I was doing something completely unrelated to Minecraft, and then suddenly I was struck by lightning. Not literally, because that would be bad, and quite random. No, I got hit by an idea, that this whole thing is archaic. It relies on sort of analog technology, like machinery that functions, and then it has to reset itself, which is like, with the hoppers, which is messy. And no, the whole thing wasn't very 1.8. So I am now in 1.8, and I have moved this into 1.8, and I've made it considerably smaller. I used a completely new concept for constructing it, and yeah. So while this is 4 by 4 by 13, this is 4 by 4 by 7. Yeah, by 7. Um, yeah, I cut off quite a lot of the excess fat. And how it works is I just decided, well, why have all these redstone things fire and detect the distance when I can just reset the whole thing within the actual thing? So what I've got here is a furnace and a dropper, and that's all it uses. The dropper actually dispenses either an iron door or a redstone. In this case, it can actually be any two items you desire for this. This is the sort of bottom layer one. And then there's a furnace here with an output. So once a item goes into the furnace, it goes into here, and this is a testforblock command, which looks for a furnace orientation 4 that has an iron door in it. And if it has an iron door, it outputs to the success area here. And even if it doesn't, because it's activated this, it activates this, and because this activates at the beginning, this activates this. So when I do something like that, that had nothing, that had nothing, and then that output succeeded. So this over here actually is a blockdata command which resets this dropper. So I don't need to send anything back to this, because if I activate just this, there you go, you can see, like, if I take stuff out of this and I activate this again, it puts the stuff back in. And what's interesting is this actually puts stuff in before this fires. So while it may look like when this fires it loses an item, don't worry, it does actually refill the items, then fire down, so the randomization is still intact. And then over here, we do the exact same thing. We have a block data which resets the furnace. It resets whatever's in slot 0 in this case, because when this fires downwards, it puts it into this top slot, which is slot 0. Don't worry about remembering any of these commands. I'm going to put them into the description below, so if you make this yourself, you can just copy and paste it, and all you need to do is put in your own relative coordinates, and perhaps your own item IDs, if you want to use different items. And then over here, obviously, is the output. And now this is one of the main important things. This is a setblock command that resets this command block, because when this command block successfully fires, this repeater will output into the succeed, and then what you need to do is update it again with redstone so it checks to see if the thing is true again. Or you need to sort of put what I see people doing is they put like a redstone torch on the side and then leading into the comparator, but that's too it's too wide, which is silly, and you don't need that if you can do something like this. And what this does is it replaces this command block untriggered, so it doesn't have any of that interference, so it doesn't like activate every other time it would activate. So yeah, and then what I did is I took this, I moved it over here, because you can see this is actually identical, and I made it 2 layers. So here I have a dropper going into a furnace. This furnace is actually facing this way, and because this is going into the side of the furnace, it will put the item in here. And for it to be able to put the item in here, they have to be smeltable items. It doesn't have to be stackable and unstackable. This lava bucket could be any type of wood, and then this could be a different type of wood. They just have to be different items so it can detect which is the success and which is not. And what this does is this outputs into this, and this is just a test for command again, the test for block, which checks the furnace. And up here, and this is important, this is the block data thing which actually removes the furnace's data, and this is on top, so this fires after this one, because this needs to check this before this empties it, or else it won't work. And this is the same here, the test for block, and then on top of that, the thing. And that's just because of how Minecraft reads the situation. It goes from the bottom Y coordinate to the top Y coordinate. This should work in any orientation, but for safety's sake, you should probably do it down the way the sun rises and sets, because that will definitely work, as I've tested that fully. And then underneath it, this is where I've finagled the block data, which resets the old dropper. And again, I've changed it so it does a stick in slot 1, which is the second slot, and lava bucket in slot 0, which is the first slot. And then this moves into here, where I'll come to why this block is here, and it weakly powers this top one and this bottom one, and this says top activate, and this says and this just does the setblock command for down here again. So if we want to fire this, the bottom activate that time, bottom and top, just the bottom again, just the bottom, bottom and top, top, top. Very random and very nice. And again, all I needed to do was stack these next to each other. Now you're probably thinking, but Twitch, when these fire, it'll fire the command block next to them because it will be weakly powered here. And that is true, but all of these all of these down this line and all of these will fire every time anyway. So the fact that they activate the command blocks next to them in like this setup doesn't matter. And then as for the output, the important output is only ever weakly activated, so it won't interfere. And this also means, because these two things are weakly activated, over here you can put them next to each other. And now this is still with Adrian's criteria. This is 14 blocks long, so he can fit 2 of these up top. So if he had all of them working on one randomization function, technically you could achieve over 65,000. It could pick one number in 65,000 at random, but only if you finagled it properly, because there is a maximum number of zeros. So I wouldn't use this method here. I would have each of them outputting sort of the same thing, so it would detect whether or not it was a 2 or a 1. If it was a 2, obviously, then that means that the parallel side activated as well. Yeah, you have to finagle it to get the full 65,000, but this isn't about that. This is about being able to fit more types of randomization, so you can have 2 blocks running for one thing, which is what I've actually got here. This side sends score to the binary, and this side sends score to the to the binary 2. And so if I activate, oh yeah, and then this is the activation method here. This removes the thing again. This sets the score to binary, and then this would output a control block to whatever activation array you want, so it could work with whatever output this puts. So if I actually do this here, show it off a bit, and then again over here, completely random. So if you wanted, wherever you activate, you could have 2 set blocks, which set a block up here, which creates this random, and sets a block over here as well. Now as you can see, that isn't changing this, but if I press this button, binary 2, binary 2 actually got a 0. Yeah, so I think this works extremely well. I can't promise this will be the last video I make on a randomizer, but I don't think I can make it Well, then again, I said that about that. I don't think I can make this any more compact. So yeah, this will be the last time I bug you guys about it. I really enjoy this little challenge to try and make it as compact as possible, and I really think that this is the way of the future, with testing and then resetting itself as it goes down the line. Yeah, this works out even better than I expected. I'm pretty sure the switching time on it is... Oh, I'm still going binary 1. Let's go back. Yeah, this is amazingly compact, and I actually really like this. I kind of wish I was using this one in my map that I'm making, and not this one. So yeah, last time I bugged you guys about it, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. Again, you can look into the video description below for the commands, and I will just briefly go over it. So each layer has 5 command blocks for it. This is your test for, because it's in between 2 comparators. Again, up here, your test for command, and it's in between the 2 comparators. And what you're testing for is the furnace here and the furnace here. The reason I use furnaces instead of chests is it's awkward to clone multiple chests. You can if you use alternating trap chests and chests, but it's easier to do it this way because you can just use the same furnace command. And if it's facing this way, it's furnace 4. You have to take into account that it will throw errors depending on the orientation of the furnace. So yeah, just keep that in mind and have them all facing in the same direction. And then the output here for the bottom layer sets the block here, and it's important that you change the command within the command. So this is the command within the command, and you need it. So if you change, like, let's say the item that you're testing for in this command block, you have to change the item that this would set here. So yeah, once you have this though, you can just copy and paste it and dump it into any world. All you need to do is set up the scoreboards. Let's see, and then I'll go through the 5 up here, I guess. The block data, which sets, I believe, -1, so it's this dropper behind it. And then this over here is block data for -2, -1, so this resets the furnace, as it said. That goes up there, this goes up here, and then that's the bottom activate. The only main problem is, when you're doing it, these middle ones will cover these in ones. So you have to keep that in mind as well when you're creating it, because it's very difficult. You'll have to break these 2 blocks in front to be able to do all of them and then replace them. I'm pretty sure I've covered where all of the locations are. Yeah, the test for, which is for that, and the set block, which is for here. Yep, that's all of them. And again, links in the description. Thank you all for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.